Let me paint you a picture, and I want you to be completely honest about whether this scene feels way too familiar. It's 9:43 a.m. on a Monday. You have a meeting at 10 o'clock. It's not a big meeting. It's barely a meeting. You just need to tell your boss that you finished the report. 2 sentences maximum. But for the past 17 minutes, your brain has been writing, revising, deleting, and rewriting what you're going to say. Version 1 was too formal. Version 2 sounded like you were trying too hard. Version 3 somehow ended up starting with the word, so, which felt weird. Version 4 had the right tone but the wrong opening word. And now it's 9:58, you're standing outside their office, and you're somehow simultaneously rehearsing a script, second-guessing the script, and regretting ever volunteering to write the report in the first place. If this is you, if your brain refuses to let any conversation happen unplanned, if every email is a 6-draft production, if you've literally mouthed words to yourself while walking down the street trying to perfect a phrase, I need you to stop whatever you're doing and listen. Because what you've been calling overthinking or social awkwardness, or proof that you're not a natural communicator, is actually something entirely different. You are not broken. You are not overthinking. You are not socially anxious. You are, in fact, demonstrating a cognitive style that most people don't have access to. And by the end of this video, you're going to stop apologizing for it and start respecting what your brain is actually doing behind the scenes. So grab a coffee, rehearse how you're going to sip it, and let's dive in. Let me start with some validation that I suspect you've never been given. The fact that your brain drafts, refines, and polishes sentences before you speak them is not a sign of dysfunction. It's a signature of what cognitive scientists are now calling advanced prelinguistic processing. This is a cognitive style where your brain treats language as a precision instrument rather than a rough tool. Most people speak the way they breathe. Automatic, unconscious, uncalibrated. You, on the other hand, treat every sentence like a custom-built object. You craft it. You test it. You revise it. Only then do you allow it to leave your mouth. This is not a flaw. This is a cognitive specialty that research has directly linked to writers, therapists, teachers, philosophers, public speakers, and strategic leaders. You're not weird. You're not boring. You're not overthinking. You're just wired for linguistic craftsmanship in a world where most people just blurt. So today we're breaking down, in 5 specific scientifically grounded points, exactly what's happening inside that extraordinary brain of yours. Number 1. You have a highly developed inner speech system. Inner speech is the literal neurological experience of talking to yourself inside your head. And research has shown that there is a massive range of inner speech intensity among humans. Some people have almost none. They just exist in silence with vague impressions instead of words. Others, like you, have a full-blown radio station playing inside their skull 24/7, complete with a DJ, commercials, and a live-streamed interview segment every 30 seconds. This level of internal dialogue activates Broca's area, the part of your brain that produces language, even when your mouth is completely closed. In other words, your brain is literally speaking, just silently. Studies have shown that people with highly developed inner speech tend to have sharper verbal intelligence, stronger reading comprehension, deeper self-reflection, and better analytical thinking. Most people walk around with a quiet mind. You walk around with a fully produced audiobook that just happens to be about your own life. That's not a malfunction. That's a cognitive superpower that happens to be extremely annoying at 3 a.m. Number 2. You're running a trait psychologists call metacognitive verbal monitoring. This is the ability to listen to your own sentences in real time as you construct them, evaluate them for accuracy and tone, and adjust them before they leave your mouth. Most people don't do this. Most people speak, then think. You think, then speak, then think again, then maybe speak, then definitely think some more. This process is managed by your prefrontal cortex, and research has consistently shown that metacognitive verbal monitoring is directly linked to high emotional intelligence, strong leadership skills, and above-average empathy. Why? Because in order to monitor what you're saying, you first have to understand how it'll be received by someone else. That requires perspective-taking, emotional awareness, and linguistic nuance, all operating simultaneously. You're not over-rehearsing. You're running 3 conversations at once, your own internal one, a simulation of the other person's reaction, and a real-time evaluation of how your words are being received. It's like everyone else is sending a single text, and you're running an entire communications department out of your skull. Number 3, and this one is genuinely going to reframe everything. The reason your brain writes scripts before every conversation is because you have an unusually active perspection system. Perspection is the mental ability to simulate future events before they happen. This is one of the most sophisticated cognitive skills humans have, and it's centered in a brain region called the medial prefrontal cortex. When you rehearse what you're about to say to your boss, you're not just picking words. You're predicting the future. You're imagining their reaction, their tone, their facial expression, the subtle shift in the air after you speak. You're generating possible outcomes and preparing emotionally for each one. This is the exact cognitive process used by chess grandmasters, elite negotiators, and top-performing CEOs. People with strong perspection consistently outperform others in decision-making tasks, emotional regulation, and long-term planning. You're not being weird when you rehearse. You're doing mental chess while most people are walking into conversations with no strategy and no preparation. Your psychology is playing chess while everyone else is playing rock, paper, scissors with the lights off. Number 4. Your brain engages in something called linguistic precision sensitivity, and this is a rare trait. Linguistic precision sensitivity is the tendency to notice, value, and prioritize exact word choice over rough communication. If someone says they're okay versus fine versus doing all right, most people treat those as interchangeable. You don't. You hear 3 entirely different messages with 3 entirely different emotional weights. Because you perceive language at this level of detail, you also hold yourself to the same standard. You can't just say, I liked the report. You need to decide whether liked is accurate, or if enjoyed is more precise, or if appreciated better captures the nuance. Research has shown that people with high linguistic precision sensitivity tend to be exceptional writers, careful speakers, and often emerge as trusted communicators in their communities. You don't just use words. You select them. You don't just speak. You compose. It's like everyone else is using autocorrect, and you're writing by candlelight with a quill pen, considering the weight of every syllable. It's slower. It's harder. But it's also why your messages hit differently when you finally send them. Number 5, and this one gives it all a beautiful evolutionary context. Your brain developed this scriptwriting habit because, for most of human history, precise language was one of the most powerful survival tools we had. Being able to explain, persuade, de-escalate, or inspire through words wasn't just a nice skill. It often determined whether you lived, thrived, or got exiled. Humans with high linguistic precision became the advisors to chiefs, the diplomats to warring tribes, the storytellers who preserved the culture, the leaders who could rally a group in crisis. Your ancestors were not the loudest in the tribe. They were the most accurate. They weren't the fastest talkers. They were the most considered ones. And this inherited wiring is still running inside you today. The reason your brain refuses to let you say something unrehearsed is because, on an ancient biological level, your mind believes that words have weight. That weight meant survival. That survival meant reproduction. That reproduction means you, right now, standing in the hallway at 9:58 a.m., rehearsing a simple update to your boss as if civilization itself depends on it. You're not socially anxious. You are carrying an ancient communication algorithm in a modern work world that happens to underestimate just how rare your kind of brain actually is. So here's where I want you to land tonight. The next time you find yourself writing, rewriting, and silently performing your sentences before speaking, I want you to stop and reframe the entire experience. You are not weird. You are not broken. You are not overthinking. You are running a highly developed inner speech system, advanced metacognitive verbal monitoring, a powerful perspection engine, rare linguistic precision sensitivity, and an ancient evolutionary wiring that made your ancestors exceptionally good at the one thing that's always mattered most, communicating with other humans. Yes, it makes quick exchanges feel complicated. Yes, it makes small talk feel like preparing a state address. But it also means that when you do speak, your words land with precision, thoughtfulness, and impact that most people can't replicate. You're not slow. You're selective. You're not anxious. You're crafted. The world doesn't need more people who speak quickly. The world needs more people who speak carefully. And that's exactly what your brain was built for. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you team, I've written and deleted this email 12 times today? Or team, I just hit send and let the universe deal with my typos? Because I already know this comment section is about to become a beautiful group therapy session for people whose brains refuse to let them wing a single conversation. And I am absolutely here for it. If this video made you feel seen in a way that no one has ever seen you before, hit that subscribe button because we unpack hidden cognitive superpowers just like this one every single week. And if you want to keep going down this rabbit hole of understanding why your brain does the beautiful, strange, brilliant things it does, click the next video on the screen right now. I have a feeling you're going to see yourself in it too. I'll see you in the next one.